11th of October. I am a rather jet-lagged Stephen Ridgway, just back in from the States. Quick shout out to the Security Onion team and the team behind B-Sides Augusta. Superb conference. Great to see how much is going on over there. So well done. Patch Tuesday was yesterday, so plenty of stuff. Over 100 security updates and fixes released yesterday. One of the more interesting ones being tracked is CVE 2023-44487, which is a rapid reset. It's a vulnerability in HTTP 2 that has been being abused since kind of around August, so for a couple of months now. So the way that one works is, so HTTP 2 introduced the concept of being able to reuse HTTP connections for more than a single part of loading a website. So with HTTP 1, if you're loading a website, TCP connections are set up, specific components are downloaded. You click again, it will reset a particular TCP connection and will create another one for whatever it is you clicked on. Well, HTTP 2 does a similar sort of thing, that if the HTTP at the layer 7, the connection is idle, as in waiting for something, it can be reused by other components on the page in order to speed up the downloads. However, that also has a reset function in it. So if you've clicked on something, it will stop downloading things you don't need and start downloading things you do need. So that is being abused at the moment. So that's quite interesting. It's worth having a little read around that. Of course, one of the easy things to do to avoid any of those kind of effectively DOS attacks, it would be to turn off HTTP to support, which will have an impact on performance, but probably isn't going to absolutely kill you. Various other bits and pieces floating around in this 100 things that are out there, including a vulnerability in Microsoft's WordPad that can be used to can be exploited to steal NTLM hashes. Anyway, as always with these patches, there's a load of good stuff there. We've got a nice article in the Register that summarises some of the stuff that's worth being aware of, but as always, recommend apply the patches ASAP. And on top of that, if you are looking for things to patch, if you're running Netscaler, ADC, Netscaler gateways, there is a security bulletin out regarding those, and the Citrix hypervisor also has various security updates as well. So if you're using Citrix products, and specifically Netscalers or the Citrix hypervisor, be aware there are patches now out there, and CISA.gov are strongly recommending to get those things patched. Microsoft has put out a warning saying that nation-state hackers are exploiting critical Atlassian Confluence vulnerabilities. So the APT that Microsoft refer to as Storm 0062, or sometimes also known as Dark Shadow, are exploiting Confluence data center and server vulnerability. The vulnerability is tracked as CVE 2023-22515. It's a privilege escalation. vulnerability, rated as scores a full 10 on the CVSS rating system. So basically allows remote attackers to create um, unauthorized Confluence administrator accounts and access Confluence servers. So you're aiming to patch to Confluence version 8.3.3, 8.4.3, or 8.5.2 or later. Definitely worth looking into that. Seeing as Confluence is very popular, it's out there, a lot of organizations are using it. There's a lot of stuff that's out there which is available over the internet, and it is, as we are saying here, it is actively being exploited by some quite sophisticated attackers. So a lot of the focus on this will be on data acquisition. It has been noted that literally terabytes of data have been stolen off compromised Confluence servers. So actively being exploited. Definitely recommend having a look at that. If you don't need things like Confluence to be on the internet, available on the internet, then put some protection around them. Think about how people are accessing stuff. Because even if you are on top of all of the rest of it, good passwords, properly managed administrator accounts, blah blah blah, 2FA, you name it. If there's a vulnerability that can be used to create administrator accounts remotely, then those particular protections, which normally are the ones that will keep you out of too much trouble, those are the ones that they're not going to help under these sort of circumstances. So keep on top of your patching with that. Also in exploits, there is a vulnerability in GNOME for Linux, GNOME being one of the most common graphical interfaces for Linux. This particular vulnerability is scoring 8.8 out of 10. And it is an out-of-bounds array access vulnerability. Basically gives an attacker the ability to execute arbitrary code on a device running GNOME. So the issue, apparently, the underlying issue is in libq, which is a kind of obscure library on which other parts of GNOME are reliant. These things will be being patched, and I would say if you are running one of the various Linux flavors that uses GNOME, look out for a patch. Again, it's all about patching, I suppose. It is that time of month. But yeah, I have to say, GNOME is, although being perhaps at the bigger end of resource requirements for Linux desktops, it's a very functional desktop. So it is out there. A lot of people use it. It is worth keeping an eye, however, on these patches, and wherever possible, remain as up to date as you can with this sort of stuff. So that's all from me today. I would like to say thank you to Rich Benfield, who has been looking after things whilst I have been off travelling in the States. So yeah, thanks Rich for that. I will be probably less jet lagged and back with you again tomorrow morning.